You're watching Newsday. Good to have you. Now, International Women's Day is a time to reflect on progress made, to call for change, and to celebrate acts of courage and determination by ordinary women who have played an extraordinary role in the history of their countries and communities. This year, the theme for International Women's Day is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in COVID-19 World. Joining us from South Africa on International Women's Day celebration is Naadiya Moosajee, co-founder of Women in Engineering, or WOMENG, and awardee of the Royal Academy of Engineering, GCRF, Catalyst Program, and a member of the World Economic Forum Global Shapers Community and Global Future Council. In 2014, Forbes named Moosajee to its 20 youngest power women in Africa's list. So it's a pleasure to have you. You've been busy. And happy International Women's Day to you, Moosajee.
Happy International Women's Day to you too. And please call me Naadiya.
Okay, Naadiya is good. Okay, so let's go straight in. Being an inspirational figure for engineering professionals in Africa, what's your take on the state of engineering innovation on the African continent? And in what ways do you think young Africans, especially women, are stepping up to develop African solutions for African problems?
So I think it's, there's a balance here. So a really positive thing is that innovation on this continent is rife. And you can tell by the number of tech hubs on this continent. We have more technology hubs than anywhere else. And then we've got programs such as the WOMENG program to develop women and girls in the engineering and tech industry that's been really amazing in growing innovation on this continent, that has been funded by the Royal Academy of Engineering in the UK. And this is to make sure that we have the engineering workforce to meet all these challenges around creating a new innovative future to meet the SDGs. So that's the positivity right there, right? The challenge is that we still are facing challenges around infrastructure, inequality. If you look at kind of the gender parity indexes that come out, it's going to take me until I'm like 150 years old to have gender parity on the continent, which I can't wait that long. I'm an exceptionally impatient person. And so really, for me, it's about what is it that we can do now to make sure that, the next generation doesn't suffer the same challenges, and that we have a real diverse and equitable workforce within the engineering industry to meet all our innovation needs.
Well, Naadiya, you're an associate of the Royal Academy of Engineering African Catalyst Committee. Can you tell us a little about the mission of the Academy of Engineering and what impact have you witnessed in Africa?
Fantastic. So the Royal Academy of Engineering is a UK-based charity, and they support engineering projects all around the world, but through a very specific grant called GCRF, which is a UK-funded, it's the Global Research Challenge Fund. They've been funding programs all across the continent to be able to elevate the role of the engineering sector. WOMENG, which is a very proudly South African organization, but we work all around the world to develop women and girls in the engineering and tech industry, has been working with the Academy, and we got a number of grants to be able to support young female engineers on the continent. We have been able to work in countries like Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Malawi, Tanzania, Eswatini and Zimbabwe to support female engineers to do a few things. One is to do more outreach programs so that we can create more positive female role models in the industry. We run outreach programs for high school girls, and we run innovation and entrepreneurship challenges for female university students so that we can create these cohorts of entrepreneurs. In fact, tomorrow in Nigeria, in Abuja, we're actually funding a program through the Royal Academy of Engineering for female engineers through an association of professional women engineers in Nigeria called APWEN. So we're really excited about, some of the changes that we're seeing, but it's not enough. To be able to actually move the needle, most of our countries have less than 10% of their engineering workforce being women, and we're still facing a number of challenges around, the stereotypes of what engineers look like. They definitely, typically don't look like me. They're still very much male. And so, how is it that we make sure that young women know that engineering is a profession that they could easily get into, enjoy and thrive, and that we need them in the profession?
All right. All right, let me ask you this. Why is it important for institutions like the Royal Academy of Engineering to support engineers in Sub-Saharan Africa? And then how is the Academy working towards fulfilling its purpose?
So it's really important because, engineering is not just a local discipline. Engineering is a global. And so this is why the Academy has chosen to be able to support far-reaching opportunities for engineers. They're one of the oldest institutions in the world from an engineering perspective. And so they're leveraging their expertise and their skills to be able to support engineering institutions on the continent. And so, what we've been seeing is, being able to leverage the expertise and leverage the funding to be able to create better, stronger local institutions. The funding is called catalyst funding because it's supposed to catalyze change within our countries and to be able to make us more sustainable and self-sufficient, and to be able to kind of, not always be reliant on funding, but actually be able to kind of build our own institutions for longevity, right? And so that's what we're seeing. And I'll give you a few really amazing examples of what this funding has been able to unlock, specifically through WOMENG programs. So the funding funds a lot of other organizations and institutions on the continent. But for us, we run an innovation program for female university students. And really, it's about unlocking the potential and entrepreneurship opportunity for engineering students. And we ran this in multiple countries. And we had one of our fellows from Malawi come up with drone technology. And they build commercial drones. So these are female engineers. They're building commercial drones. And they're being able to kind of fly these drones to hard-to-reach places to be able to kind of provide medical supplies. They provide things and goods that people need that they necessarily can't get, because they stay in such far-flung places. And this is not just in, a Malawian or Tanzanian problem. This is kind of a lot of our countries face these challenges. And if it wasn't for this funding, if it wasn't for our programs, we won't be able to kind of support and fund these real great innovators on the continent. And so, what we're seeing more and more is the ability to be able to unlock potential of young engineers to be able to be innovative, to start companies, to grow our economies, right? And it starts with some grant money here at the beginning, but it has such an amazing ripple effect to be able to unleash engineering potential.
Okay, Nadia, it actually comes across quite well that you enjoy what you do. So you're a great ambassador for diversity and inclusion. So as a proponent of this, tell us what progress you have seen generally, briefly, within the sector, in the engineering sector in particular, and what strategies are being put in place to create more positions for women in the field of engineering.
Mm-hmm. So, I love what I do. I absolutely do. And, we are big proponents for diversity, equity, and inclusion, but it's been slow. And the challenge is that we're facing a lot of societal, cultural norms on the continent. But what we are seeing the numbers change. About when we started this journey about 15 years ago, the number of women engineers was kind of under 10%. We're starting to see that number being 13%. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but actually, we're starting to see slow shifts. We're seeing a lot more girls being aware of engineering careers, and that's largely because of our outreach. So some of our university numbers are up. When I studied engineering myself, the classes were around 10% of our engineering class was girls. Some of the engineering classes are now up to about 40%. Right? So we're starting to see, strides being made all along the pipeline to get more girls excited about engineering and getting into industry. I think the challenge remains leadership, right? And if you look at, all the engineering companies, and we work a lot with female entrepreneurs on the continent, and you look at the number of female-owned businesses in the STEM industry, it's still very low.
Thank you so
for
much,
us,
Nadia.
it's really important.
It is so refreshing to see
to understand
you
how is it that we
enjoy
can
what you
get
do
more
and talk so passionately about it. Thank you so much, Nadia, for speaking to us. Welcome.